watching the video, guys. In today's video, we're breaking down 3 of the most frustrating and expensive house flipping or house renovation mistakes I see real estate investors make all across the country. This is something that, guys, if you can avoid, you're gonna save a lot of money, save a lot of time, and definitely save your sanity. Now, I'm gonna break these down in detail, guys, so you have a good understanding of why this is so important. So the first one is, when you're flipping houses, a big part of it is painting the house and doing texture and drywall. Sometimes you have to sand the walls, you have to sand the old walls down, depending on how you're gonna retexture the walls and what you're gonna do as far as your strategy. And then you're respray texturing the house, and then you're spray painting the house a lot of times unless you're rolling it, right? So one of the most important things that you guys need to understand is taping everything off. Now, it sounds so common sense, but I mean taping everything off the right way. So you need to tape off your light fixtures, your windows, and the edges around your windows. Things like faucets, any furniture, any extra tools laying around the house like compressors and things like this. You need to make sure that these are all taped off, double checked, and triple checked. If not, get ready for a lot of cleaning and a lot of replacing supplies that probably can't be cleaned. This is something that seems so common sense that very few people do and do correctly. And what's gonna happen is overspray issues with texture and paint, guys. And this is just something that should be avoided on every single house. And if you do not intentionally make an effort to avoid this, it's gonna pop up on a lot of your projects, guys. And even if you tell these contractors, guys, to do this, you better make sure they do it, or you trust them to do this, or that you're there the day before they start spraying and texturing everything, because if not, you're gonna have a nasty headache. It's gonna slow the project down, increase the carrying costs, and increase your frustration level, which leads to making more bad decisions because you're trying to catch up for extra money spent now. And so it's just something you guys always need to do. Correctly tape everything off, guys. All your outlets, your light switches, your plugs, granite if it's already in the house, anything and everything that you don't want to get destroyed. I know it sounds like common sense, but it's not. This happens all the time. It's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. Now, second thing I want to talk about. When these individuals are done, your contractors working for the day, what is the most common thing they do when it comes to cleaning their tools, cleaning their paintbrushes, cleaning their buckets, say they were doing cement work, drywall work, any of this, right? What do you think they usually do? Path of least resistance. They're gonna go right outside, a lot of times right in your front flower garden, right by your front door, right by the main entrance, whether you have landscaping in or not, and they're gonna start cleaning their brushes and cleaning all their tools and everything right there, right up against the house. So if you got a nice brick house and you don't want cement splattered all over it, and you don't want texture and paint splattered all over it, which sometimes can't come off the way that you want it to come off, which can actually cause big problems. I've known people that have had such bad issues with certain things like this because contractors cleaning their stuff right up against the house, they actually had to paint the house, believe it or not, because they couldn't get it cleaned. It made it look so bad. It was right there at the entrance. So it's very common for these contractors to want to clean everything right there, right up against the wall. Then you're going to get back splatter and you're going to ruin your front yard. Let's say you're getting ready to put the house on market and you have these painters come in and now they just destroy a 10 by 10 area, 10 foot by 10 foot section right in the front yard, right by your main entrance, and you don't have time to bring in sod or anything. And if you did, it's still an extra expense and headache. So when these individuals are cleaning their tools and supplies and buckets and all this, guys, you need direct orders that they all understand that this is done in a area around the side yard or in the backyard away from the house, that they take a hose, that they're not going to damage anything that's going to cost you money, time, and effort to fix. So this is very common, guys. Don't let people destroy your property and clean everything right there at the front. Now, the third and last one I want to give you guys here is the timing of when you're putting your floors in. I highly recommend that you guys don't do this to the very, very, very end of the project, right when everything is getting ready to get done. But I get it, sometimes you guys are a little bit newer and you don't understand what step comes first and then what comes next and how to flow through a project for the quickest way through, the smooth transition through the project with the lowest carrying costs. And a lot of times I see people put their floors in too early, or for certain reasons like supply chain breakdowns, they had to order them at a certain time to get them in at a certain time, but they're not done with the project, or they're coming back in to do stuff even though they didn't think they were gonna have to. They had extra things pop up that they're still working on the property. Okay, if the floors go in, guys, do not let your workers go in the house until the floors are taped off. Once again, this sounds so common sense. It is not common sense because it happens on every single project if you don't warn them to do so. You need tarps, you need something to cover the floors. A lot of times people are getting brown paper, those brown paper rolls that you can just roll out real quick. Now, if you're gonna do this, make sure something that's gonna happen commonly to you is your contractors are gonna be walking over the brown paper. They wear big boots. They're carrying stuff around the house. They're dragging hoses and things like this, all sorts of different things, buckets around. They're gonna scuff holes or chip out holes in that brown paper. You're getting little sections, can't even talk right now, little sections like 6 inches wide, a foot wide here. They're not gonna fix it. Believe it or not, guys, they're not just gonna take personal initiative and do it on their own. They will literally leave these holes where the brown paper was ripped up and walk right over them. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna step on paint, and then they're gonna step right in that hole because somehow that's just how it works, right? So what you guys need to understand is tape everything off the floors, make sure they're covered, give them direct orders. If there's a hole or anything that comes up because they scuffed a hole up or kicked a hole up, they need to recover this down. And because if they don't do this, guys, I promise you, you're gonna end up with nice floors that you just put in that now have damaged spots on them or paint walked all over them, guys. One of the most frustrating things is letting workers come into a house after you just put in nice floors and they just cause all sorts of problems and damage the floors. They're gonna get all sorts of dust and other colored pieces of things that they have, who knows what they're using, grout and all sorts of stuff in between the lines, between the floors. You know, it's just gonna discolor everything. And it's gonna make it not look the way you want it to look, like a nice fresh house ready to go on the market. So those are my 3 things, guys. Make sure they're taping off everything when they go to spray paint texture or do anything like that in the house, light fixtures, granite, you know, furniture, whatever it is, guys, double, triple check that it's all taped off correctly. Number 2, make sure they're not cleaning everything right outside the front of your house, guys. It's gonna be a nasty nightmare for you. It's gonna take time, energy, and money to fix. And the last one is, put your floors in last. If not, make sure that you really protect your floors. The first thing that you do when they go in is you cover them, double cover them, and warn them over and over and over to make sure to protect the floors. And I'd say if you mess up the floors, it's at your expense, guys. And I hope these things help you going forward if you're brand new and flipping houses, or it's a good refresher if you've been flipping houses for a while and you've dealt with these headaches. And I see you guys laughing and smiling, not along a lot of you guys that have dealt with this throughout your career, guys. I hope this helps. Keep these little things in mind. You can make a lot more money and save a lot of time and have a lot less stress. I'll see you on the next one.